Hello, good everybody. Welcome back to my channel. So today's session I'll be talking about the EVM, which is short for the Ethereum Virtual Machine. Sorry. So so I'm just like sharing my progress, my weekly progress. So far I've been working on the Ethereum Virtual Machine. As you can see here, I have this file where I placed all my opcodes that I'll be using for the program. So basically I explained what my program does in my last video, so you can do well to check that out. So for today's session, I'll quickly be talking about the EVM, what it is and what it does. So let's dive right in. So first off, we cannot understand what the EVM is if we don't know what a virtual machine is, right? So what is a virtual machine? A virtual machine is kind of like a computer system that is created as a software on a physical computer, and its function is basically to imitate or emulate the functionality of another physical computer. That is what a virtual machine is. So it's just a computer that is created as a software. It's basically a software that its basic functionality is to emulate the functionality of another computer. So yeah, and that being said, there are two types of virtual machines. We have the system virtual machine and we also have the process virtual machine. So these two kinds of virtual machine, the ones that we have. So the system virtual machine is a kind of virtual machine that runs a complete operating system, right? So it runs a complete operating system, it runs applications and it runs programs on a single machine, right? So, and this system virtual machine is also capable of running multiple operating systems all at once. That is what a system virtual machine is. While we have the process virtual machine, which is another type of virtual machine, right? So these process virtual machines are basically application virtual machines, or what we call the managed runtime environment, right? So these kind of virtual machines are basically programs because they are more like boxed inside of a process. So what is a process? A process is simply a program that is in execution, an instance of an executing program. That is what the process is. So that is how this virtual machine is basically a software. Yeah, it's a software or an application that is boxed into a runtime. Exactly. So we have an example of that, which we have an example of a process virtual machine. We have the EVM and we also have the JVM, which is the Java virtual machine. Yeah, right. So back to the EVM. Having said that having explained what a virtual machine is and the kinds of virtual machines that we have, so as we come back to what the EVM is. So the EVM, which is the Ethereum Virtual Machine, is a process virtual machine, right? So we talked about the process virtual machine being an application virtual machine that's been boxed in a process. It's basically a program in execution. So the EVM is a stack-based architecture, meaning it operates in it follows the LIFO, the last in first out kind of data structure in operation, right? So the EVM is a stack-based architecture. So it basically operates on what we call byte codes. So these byte codes are more like given to the EVM to process. and work on it. So like I have examples here, like these are all opcodes. We have the add opcode, the mul opcode, and all of that. So whenever a bytecode is being passed to the Ethereum Virtual Machine, the Ethereum Virtual Machine is capable of more like looking through this bytecode and separating the ones that are instructions or opcodes and the ones that are data to be processed, right? For instance, when we have something like let's see, we have an instruction like 60 42. This is basically a bytecode. We have 61, 64, we have 5e 127, right? This is basically this is an example of a bytecode. So what the EVM does is it passes this, gets the first byte. The first byte is going to be an opcode. So it uses that it uses the data after that opcode to operate on that opcode, right? So 42 now is a data. Next we have 61. 61 is an opcode. I'm just giving an illustration. 61 is an opcode. We have 64. 64 is going to be a data. We have 5e. 5e is going to be an opcode, and 127 is going to be a data. So if we should look through my list of opcodes here, so we say this is an opcode. Let's see. Let me do this. Say opcode. See data opcode. Let me do this. Let me do it this way. Yeah, this is better. And this is data. And we have opcode. And this is data. Yeah. So what an EVM would do, I'm just giving an illustration. So you get the first opcode, right? So here we have 60. Our opcode is 60. So if we look through our list of opcodes and look for 60, you see that 60 is the push one opcode. And here the push one opcode, what it does is it places 1 byte item on the stack. And remember, I said that the EVM is a stack based virtual machine, right? Meaning he operates last in first out, kind of like data structure. So the 60 opcode, what the 60 opcode is going to do here is going to take this 42 data and put it in the stack, right? And place it on the stack. So next we have the next instruction, which is 61, and the data is 64. So if you say 61, the opcode is push 2, right? You say place 2 bytes item on the stack. Now we have 64. 64 is 1 byte, so basically it's going to pad this with 0 and place it on the stack. Yeah, so it's going to place this 2 byte item on the stack. Then we have the 5a opcode. So what this does is, let's look for the 5a opcode. 5a, which is gas, says guess the amount of available gas. So basically gas is more like the measure of computational effort on the EVM. So gas does not take in any inputs. So let's look at let's take for instance this add opcode. which is 01. So what this does is the add opcode basically takes the first two data on the stack, which is the data on the top of the stack and the data next to the data at the top of the stack. So it takes them and adds the two values there and places it at the top of the stack. That is what the add opcode does. So yeah, there are other functionalities to the EVM, but I won't be talking much on that today. I will be in our next session, so stay tuned. We'll be continuing that next week, and I'll be sharing my progress on the EVM that I'm working on. Thank you. Stay blessed.